welcome back to my channel. I know that's a classic YouTuber thing to say, but I'm saying it today because I really suck at intros, so that's what's happening. Today we are starting my first ever how to for ladies video. I'm starting this series and I'm really excited about it. It's basically all of the questions that I had when I first started riding dirt bikes, and I wanted to create a space for you women who are maybe just getting into moto or want to learn how to do some maintenance on your own bike without help from others. So thank you for tuning in today. We're going to kick this series off with a air filter maintenance video. Yeah, I don't know what else to call it. I wanted to start out with an air filter maintenance video because I feel like maintaining your air filter is one of the most important things you can do for your dirt bike. It helps your longevity, it also helps your bike run better, and you don't want any dirt and shit in your intake and carb, because that would just be a whole nother box of chocolates that you don't even want to get into. So with that all being said and done, let's get into cleaning your air filter. The materials I use to clean my air filter are, start with the filter cleaner. So this one is by Moto, and this cleaner is biodegradable. If you know me, I'm kind of a hippie. Then we have our Moto filter oil. You can get this all in a pack. This one's also biodegradable. They do offer a spray filter oil. That one just is alcohol based. This one is a non-alcohol formula. And some rim grease. If you're like, what the fuck is rim grease? Don't worry, I'll be explaining it to you towards the end of this video. Nitrile gloves or rubber gloves. These will be used to take your filter in and out and to clean it because it's really tacky and it can just get messy. Some shop towels or shop rags. And my personal favorite, Simple Green. We're going to be using this to clean out the air box. Cool. Now that we've gone over everything we're going to need, let's go get the air filter out. First, you're going to want to start with locating your air filter. I know some manufacturers have it actually under the seat or on top of the seat. I believe Yamaha's have it on top of the seat. There's some that require you to take off the seat and it'll be right here. It kind of looks like a little bumblebee. But KTM's and Husqvarna's, they will have it on the side here like you're seeing on my bike. So now that you know where your air filter is and you've already ripped off your cover, doink. Mine is kind of a bitch rip off if you don't lube the little thingies, but anyway, now that you have located your air filter and you see that it's dirty and you're like, damn, that needs to be cleaned, let's figure out how to take it out. And it's honestly really easy, so let's start. First things first, when we're removing this puppy, you're going to want to use your rubber gloves. I mean, you can be brave if you want and decide not to use them. If you don't have them, just wash your hands after. I mean, this cleaner's not too bad, but today I'm using my rubber gloves. I also fell this past weekend on concrete, so I have like, don't be stupid. This literally was, I put my foot down on the high side and just couldn't reach and tipped over on like a slanted rocky concrete. It hurt really bad and I hit my head, but it was just over something so stupid. Anyway, cool, okay, our gloves are on, awesome. So removal should be really easy. If your bike is different than mine, you'll be able to see in your manual how you do it, or sometimes even just by looking at it, you'll be able to be like, oh, that's how I take it out. So mine is just held together by this clip here, and then it also clips in the back. I'll just pull her out. And she's still pretty nasty. Gross. So now that your air filter's been removed, that's going to leave your intake boot exposed to all the environmental elements and fluids and particles floating around. And we just don't want anything getting into our intake. Remember, like I said, that's what this whole purpose is here for. So myself and most other people will just put some shop towels or a rag in there to prevent anything from getting into this intake boot. So the next step will now be cleaning your air box. Mine's not super dirty, but you just want to make sure that that's cleaned out before you put a new freshie in there, you know? So I'm going to take my shop towels, and this is when my Simple Green comes into play. I like to just squirt it onto my rag so that spray doesn't get everywhere. Your air box looks pretty. She's nice and clean and shiny. The next step is obviously to what? Okay, yeah, clean our air filter. So let's go do that. Now I have a bucket of warm water. I usually do 1 to 2 capfuls of my Moto oil cleaner. It just depends on how dirty my air filter is, but let's just do 2 capfuls today. Mix it around. I have Birkenstocks on. No wonder I'm using biodegradable cleaner. So then we'll take our dirty ass air filter off its little cage here. Now be careful, you don't want to rip any holes in it. Then I'll just let these 2 soak for a little while. Gotta do a little scrubbing action on this bad boy because I can't squeeze it like the filter. Okay, so for the filter, it's been soaking for a minute. Just gonna simply massage out all that dirt. Now, when you're cleaning this, don't wring it out. You're just going to want to squeeze the dirt out. Wringing it out could cause tearing and holes, and that's something that you don't want. So you just like squeeze out all that dirt and massage it out. That's just how you're going to oil it too. Now she's clean. You are going to want to wait for this to dry before you start oiling it, and usually I'll just hang it on my handlebar. Before you oil though, just like when cleaning, you want to make sure that there's no holes in your filter before you install it back in, just because you don't want, like I've been mentioning in this whole freaking video, dirt going into your intake boot and carburetor. Just make sure that there's no holes in here. This one looks really good. This one almost looks brand new. I cleaned it pretty dang well. So cool. Okay, when oiling, wear your gloves. And with my Moto oil, I like to poke a hole in the top there. You can kind of see it to make it easy to drizzle it on here. So we're going to take our oil, just going to drizzle it onto our filter. I actually filmed this YouTube video previously in the cold, and my oil didn't like massage very well into my filter, and I was like, wow, this is not what you want to be teaching people. So don't do it in the cold, because it's going to be really hard to massage this baby in. And again, I'm not wringing it out, I'm just squishing and massaging the oil into my filter. See, this is why you need gloves, guys. Or ladies, whoever's watching. I'm doing this for the ladies though, not the guys. I swear every YouTube video I watched when I was learning how to do stuff was just men explaining it. And it's cool, like it was really helpful. Nothing against men, but I'm like, where's the women explaining it? I want to do it. So now that I have enough knowledge, I'm super stoked to be doing it for you guys. So one thing to note when oiling your air filter, I made this mistake when I first started out, but is over oiling it. I had a 2-stroke at the time. I started out on the KX100, and I would oil the shit out of my filters because I thought that's what you needed to do. And it would make my bike run super like boggy, and there would be oil residue in my intake boot, which isn't like life or death, but you just, again, don't want that. So just apply a good amount to give your filter full coverage, but you also don't want it freaking dripping oil. You'll find the happy medium. Okay, look at this nice and oiled filter. She's pretty much even for the most part, right? You saw me massaging the shit out of it. So once your air filter looks similar to mine, she's ready. Got my clean cage and my oiled air filter. Moto Oil states that you want to let the oil dry for an hour before installing it. But I mean, if you're not riding until the weekend and you've got a few days in advance, don't worry about it, just install it because it'll dry. So again, just like when we took out our cage, you're going to want to install it carefully too, not to tear any holes in your biz. So she looks good. She's back on her cage. So now to the part you guys have all been waiting for, the rim grease. So the reason you put on rim grease is just an additional seal to prevent particles and dirt from getting into your intake, like I've been saying this whole video. It's just an additional step. Most newer bikes already seat fine. I know some people that don't put any grease around the rim, or they will just use their filter oil and put a little bit here, but mine came with rim grease in the kit, so I'm just going to put it on there anyway, and it's really easy to clean off. Better safe than sorry. That's what I think. You'll just take a little bit of this and do exactly what it says. You'll grease the rim. Doesn't have to look pretty, it just has to get the job done. I've greased the rim and she's ready for install. Before you install your clean oiled air filter back on your bike, you're gonna wanna remove whatever you put, whether it's a shop towel or a shop rag. Remove it out of your intake boot. That's a no-go. You do not want that in there when you're starting your bike. That thing will do some damage. So just remember to take that out, please, for me. Then she'll go in just as easy as she came out. Clips right back in there. Boom. Then I make sure the edges are tucked in. I don't know, just make sure the seat's good. Nice. You successfully installed your air filter. Cool. Isn't it neat? Feels cool to do shit by yourself. I would do this all the time with like glasses of wine when I first started, and now I'm like kind of like, oh, I have to clean my air filter again, but whatever keeps my bike happy, right? Again, thank you guys so much for tuning in to my first ever ladies how-to. If you guys like this video, please like and comment below. Also, I want to know any feedback on future videos you want to see from me. I have a few in mind, but if there's something that you would like to see or you don't know how to do on your bike, please drop it in the comment section below and I will make a video on that. But thanks again for tuning in. You guys are awesome and I can't wait to see you on the next video. Bye!